we get into the details of Barbarian Hermit, Solitude and Savagery, first we bring you an interview with Rob Sutcliffe, the bass player from the band. Enjoy, and stay until the end, and you'll get to see our thoughts on Solitude and Savagery.
Brilliant. All right, so let's take a short trip back in time. How did you get to this point where you woke up, I guess, one day and thought, yep, we're Barbarian Hermit and we are a band?
To be honest, that's not really my area of expertise, because I only joined the band last year. So honestly, I have been told the story of how they came up with the name, but I genuinely can't remember what it is off the top of my head. I did an email interview with someone the other week, and I just made up a story about something to do with crabs.
Oh, I read that, and I literally read that earlier on today, and I thought, that can't be true, because it was so strange. I thought, well, why not? Brilliant, yeah. I mean, that's fantastic. Well, yourself then, how did you end up being part of the band?
Well, I was in a band called Fantasist for a while that are on a bit of a break at the moment, just for various reasons. We're just taking time out, and the guys from Hermit approached me last year when the old bass player Chris had to leave. So they had like 3 or 4 gigs lined up coming up within the space of a few weeks, and they were just sort of rushing around trying to find people. So they were just asking all their friends who played bass, are you available to come and do this and help out? And I ended up being free to go and help them out. So I stepped up to the plate for a bit and ended up jamming with them quite a few more times after those gigs until they found someone permanent. And then they ended up just saying, well, if you want to stick around, we'd like to have you on board. So, here I am now.
You jumped at the chance, yeah?
Yeah, well, we've been friends with them for a while anyway. I mean, my other band had played with them. Well, I played with them with a couple of bands over the years. So there was already a good little bantery friendship there. So it was nice to jump on board with a group of guys that I was already comfortable with. So yeah, it was didn't have to think much about the answer.
Oh yeah, of course. And of course, well, obviously they've been kind of going for a few years now, up to that point. And here's the thing, like I remember first hearing sort of Barbarian Hermit's name a few years back, and never really seeing anything from it though. Like just hearing the name either by a press article or just said in the underground when you go to a gig and maybe playing like first support on a 3-4 person show. And the name we got, people say, oh yeah, Barbarian Hermit are great and you should check them out in this. And it'd be like, couldn't really, I guess, find the music because there was obviously no album at the time. There was an EP, but not an album. And I think 5 years, 2013 is what I read when Barbarian Hermit first sort of got started. So has it all been about building momentum from, I guess, even from the EP release to this album?
What was that, sorry?
Has it all been like that, basically creating that name for yourselves on the underground scene where everyone kind of is talking about you? Has it all been about building momentum to this album?
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess it is in any respect, isn't it? Because once you've got one release out, you want to try and keep hold of that momentum, until the next one, or if the next one's going to be a while off, you need to do something to keep the name around there. So I mean, the guys were gigging quite a lot anyway as Hermit before I joined off the back of that EP. I mean, the momentum for the album that we've just done didn't really start until last year, end of last year, I think. And then we were like, well, we've got this EP and people keep asking about more stuff. So that's when a new wave started and we started pushing towards the album. But the gigs were starting to roll in, so there was a good momentum there from then.
Yeah, because it's all too often now where like, a band's going to release an EP or an album and it gets buried so quickly because of the glut of music you can just find, be it streaming and YouTube, you can quickly kind of get buried. So for yourself, how important is it for you to be basically out there, live shows, spreading the word via social media and so on?
Yeah, well, like you say, there's so much going on that if you don't stay relevant and stay up to date, you do just get swept away under this band, under the the wave of ever increasing number of bands that keep popping up from here, there, and everywhere, and all the new different genres that you have to try and keep up with as well. So it's good to try and stay in the game as much as you can. So that's why we've done well. We try and stay present online quite a lot, so people remember that we're there. Do stupid little pictures, photo shoots, and videos and stuff here and there, just little things to keep reminding people that we're still there in the background, even if we're not touring. Just doing little bits to remind people that we're still there and we're still relevant, or trying to be.
Yeah. I mean, that seems to be seem to have to be. If you want to beat anything in this music now, you kind of have to have a constant, almost exhausting level of presence on there.
Yeah.
So, it's only a few days away now, the release of the album, Solitude and Savagery. How stoked are you to finally be... there it is. How stoked are you to finally be at this point? Like a few days away.
In the lead up to it, it was getting quite exhausting, to be honest, because there was so many conversations that we had to have about the layout of the CD, the order of the tracks, and the different bits of mixing and the artwork that went into it, and just all the different components. And it was up until about 3 weeks ago, we were still having all those conversations, and you could tell we were all just getting so fed up with it because all the conversations were getting shorter and shorter, and people were just like, right, yeah, fuck it, just do it.
Yeah.
That's fine. Just sign it off and we can send it and we'll be fine. I think it was more me that was like that, to be honest, because I'm a grumpy old bastard. But
yeah.
It's brilliant now to have it sort of. It feels like we've been waiting almost too long now because we finished everything, and now it's just the build up. So it's like, right, we just want this thing to be out now. We want our baby in the world so people can hear it and love it like we do.
That's what I was going to ask next, but you basically already answered it about how exciting is this time, and is it just relief to finally be able to say, yay, we have the album? And as you said, it is.
Yeah, we've already started talking about the second one as well. We've already put plans in motion for that. Like, we've had a couple of little mini writing sessions and had spitballed a few ideas for the build up to it whenever it does arrive. But we've already started work on the proceedings for the next one. It's it's a busy time.
Excellent. So how about the responses so far? I mean, with it only been a few days, obviously reviews are out left, right and centre. I personally, when I've gone looking, and I had a good old look earlier on, I can't find anything that I would consider negative. It seems to be universally being praised. Have you found that?
We have, yeah. We even said that it was a bit weird, and we're sort of can't wait for someone to give it a bad review, just so that we can try and at least take some feedback off it, or if we think it's mainly ridiculous, we can just hide it under a rug and then go off and cry about whatever we think of us. But no, it's been the majority of it, or from what I've seen anyway, has all been wonderful. Everyone seems to be proper digging it, so it's it's a nice feeling to know that everyone likes it so much. Yeah,
because I suppose I understand what you're saying. Like, you get that negative review, it might give you something to think about if they're being genuine about it. But if you had, like, I don't know, let's say one negative review out of 50 and 49 are positive and one's negative, and even if that negative has got constructive things, how much would you say you're really going to take that on board if the other 49 are great?
I guess it depends on what they'd said. Like, maybe like if someone comes out and says one thing about it that we think, well, that's what we liked about the song, so, piss off, you can take that outside. But if it's something that we thought, maybe that would be better for next time round, maybe... we'll do this and we'll do that. So we're happy to take stuff on board. I'd like to think, because it's all constructive criticism at the end of the day, regardless of how harsh anyone might be about how they put it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to think we'd take it on, take it on the chin, take it with a pinch of salt, and we'd probably try and look at it from a hilarious and a serious angle and see which pays off.
So what's the story behind the beer, the album artwork in particular? It's related to a beer, right?
The Adam, our guitarist, one of our guitarists, sorry, Mike. He's good friends with a guy who owns a brewery called Northern Monk. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I have, yep.
And he was doing these special runs of beers that were in cahoots with bands. He's done a few of them now, I think. I think he's done 3 or 4 maybe. Probably more, actually. I should have looked that up, really. But yeah, he approached us and said, like, do you want to come and do this? And we played... they do a day every year at the brewery where they have a load of special stuff on tap and people can pay to come in and try all the different beers. And I think that was at the time when he was saying, we should get you guys on board for one of these. So that's how we ended up getting in touch with this guy called Hass, who does the artwork for the album. So yeah, he wanted to get this guy on board because he'd seen his artwork online. So we got signed up with Hass to come and, have a couple of meetings, have a bit of a powwow and see what kind of stuff we were aiming for. And that's when he ended up coming back with this wonderful album cover, which is we're blown away by it straight away. I think there were pretty minimal tweaks that we had to throw in there, because as soon as he showed us the rough sketches, we were like, this kind of suits us. This feels nice. So I'll show you the poster as well, actually, because
it's quite eye-catching.
Yeah, have you got a copy of the CD? Have you seen the whole thing?
I've only through the digital side. Oh wow. So it's really...
Yeah, all the copies come with this nice little fold-out poster.
It looks like it could easily be like the front of a graphic novel. Like that's
Yeah.
just, yeah.
Yeah, it looks quite comic booky, doesn't it? Like
Yeah.
something from the 100 or something.
Very-
Something Frank Miller would pick up for a film.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we loved about it, was that whole the really, the rough edges and stuff, and just the way that it felt when you looked at it was thought that really totally sinks in. And it's the picture of the guy is actually the original Hermit as well. It's a guy called Diogenes.
Okay.
And it was our guitarist Mike who was the one who pitched that idea. So him and Haas had a bit of a back and forth, and then that ended up coming from the conversations they had, and yeah, totally worked out. So that's what's going to be on the front of the can of beer. Sorry, I went the long way around with this answer. Sorry about that. So yeah, that artwork is going to be on the can of beer as well. So there'll be, I think there's something on the label of the can where you can peel it away, and there'll be information about the band on the inside of it as well.
Oh, wow.
And so yeah, there's going to be like all the proper beer lovers that like to go out and exclusively try these different brands and stuff. It's one for those kind of guys. But
yeah, because I was sort of going to ask, like, where on earth are people going to find that? Where are they going to find it? Like, it's not just going to be in your local supermarket, is it?
I actually don't know. I've not been told where it's going to be purchasable from. I know for a fact that it's available at the Refectory in Manchester.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a new bar that's just opened up, but that's actually owned by Northern Monk, who are brewing the beer for us. So I think they're doing a run of about 10,000 cans. So I can't wait to try it, actually. We've not even tried it yet. I think it gets finished sometime this week. I think last week it was being canned up, and hopefully we'll have some of it to try in the next few days.
Oh, awesome. Make sure, try and get some sent down to London, because a drive to Manchester's a long way just for a beer.
We'll see if we can get a couple sent to you, man.
Excellent. So obviously, I guess it's kind of no secret, but you are into your beer, right? As the whole band. It's kind of part of why this partnership, I guess, got together, right?
Yeah, we all like a drink. We all enjoy a tipple.
Yeah.
The other guys, especially, I'm like the embodiment of the like the hobgoblin can.
Ah.
Where he says like, "What's wrong, lager boy? Are you afraid you'll taste something?" Like, I feel like he's talking directly to me, because I usually just go, "Yeah, I'll just have a pint of lager, please." I'm not much for being inventive with the beer choices, but the rest of the guys are pretty on it with the selections.
Yeah, I'd love to sort of say that I was a big beer man and all that, but up until like my first time I went to Bloodstock a few years ago, I was lager all the way through, and then went to Bloodstock and in the VIP tent area and all that, and they have all the selection. That was kind of where I was like, okay, let me try that, and it's still like still of a nightmare trying to find like one that I really, really like,
Yeah, we went, like I say, we played at the Northern Monk thing last year at the brewery in Leeds, Dark City it's called. We're doing it again, another one next Saturday. Actually, is the second one they've done. But that was my version of you at Bloodstock, because I got there and they had all these wonderful like you had to have them in like a 3rd pint glass, because the beer was so strong. Like some of them were like 12%. So we were trying them in these little 1/3 of a pint glasses, and I started trying stuff like a milk stout, like a coffee sort of flavored stuff, and we were drinking these, and it was like treacle, and like we were throwing these things back, and they were absolutely beautiful. So that's where I started.
It was nice.
It was it was really good. I went to say wonderful again then, but that's like 3 times I've used that word. I don't usually say that often, so I'm going to steer away from that word.
Stay away from it. So talking about Bloodstock, you played there this year.
Yes, we did.
And I'm sad to say we did miss you, because we were doing interviews in the press area at the time. You're not the only one, unfortunately, as is the case. But how was that for you guys? Was that the biggest show you've done to date?
I think so, yeah, definitely. While I've been in Hermit, it was the biggest one I've done. I'm pretty sure the guys said the same thing after we came off the stage. We were just like, did that even just happen? Like we came off the side of the stage, we were just blown away. It was so well received. Like, it wasn't raining. There was another good band on the main stage, and we still had a full tent. Like, they weren't squashed in like sardines, but the tent was full, so we had a great crowd for it. It was incredible.
Yeah, because the New Blood, when it's kind of packed out as well, it looks and feels really, really jammed, even though it may not be as jammed, say, at the sides. I can try to picture the tent now, and it's like, yeah, okay, that's awesome, because it's one of the most energetic places as well, that particular tent.
Yeah.
It's always nice to see the people come along, and even if they're just there out of curiosity, because hey, you've got 30 minutes and I don't like what's at the main stage. It's such an opportunity. You guys won Metal to the Masters to get there, right?
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
It was quite a short one, really. I think there were only 3 rounds that we had to do, and the third was the final.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I was actually in France during the final, so we had a friend come and step in for us to play bass. I think that's why we won, because of his pretty face. He wasn't due to musical talent. It's down to John from Pissed.
Excellent. Right, so I guess what the rest of 2018, do you have much going on, or is it just chill time now, get Christmas out of the way, and then just smash 2019? Is that kind of the plan, or is it,
roundabouts that, yeah. Well, I mean, we've still got the album launch,
of course,
to come. So we've got a big end to the year. So yeah, we've got the next 2 gigs are next Friday and Saturday. So we've got the Friday launch official date at the Refectory in Manchester, in the Northern Quarter. Then the Saturday, the day after, we're doing, I think, the same thing again, playing the album in full in Leeds. And that again will be the launch of the beer as well. So after that, I think we've got one more in December. We're doing the Rebellion Christmas party on the Rebellion in Deansgate, on Deansgate. Sorry, that's on the 22nd of December.
Oh, just before Christmas, yeah.
Yeah. But in between that and afterwards, we've got a bit of a break. I think we've got a few gigs lined up for next year already, starting in February. So yeah, we've got a few good plans for next year. Like I say, we're going to start writing towards another album as well. So we've got a lot on our plate. We've got a few stupid little videos that we're going to try and get out as well. Again, about the presence thing, trying to stay in the line, make sure people know we're there. But yeah, I mean, if the buzz is any indicator about the album, I think we're going to be a lot busier once this thing lands.
I suspect so. I think you're right. It's. I keep forgetting that it's literally not out yet. It's just it's a few days, because it already feels like it's been out. The amount of talk about it.
It's like the Aquaman of albums. It feels like it should have come out already.
Yeah. The Aquaman of albums. Brilliant. All right. Right. So. What we do, although we are leaning way nowadays more than ever, leaning way towards the rock and metal side of stuff for our site. We also, when we first started off, we were actually originally a video game site only, and then we introduced horror because I'm a huge, and my brother's a huge horror fan. It was like, hey, absolutely. And then we were like, well, we also love metal. Let's bring that in, and then it's just the 3. That's what I wanted to ask you then. Of those 3, gaming, horror, and headbanging. Which do you find you enjoy the most? I mean, ignoring the fact you're in a band, and of course you're always going to love your rock and metal. What else from that?
I'll be totally honest. The reason the guys put my name forward for this interview is because 3 of my favourite things are metal, horror, and gaming.
Excellent.
So it ticked all of my boxes. Like as soon as we finish this interview, I think me and my girlfriend are going to sit and play on a game for a while. She doesn't really like horror stuff, so I tend to just sort of wait until she's not in the house, and I'll have a bit of a horror binge. I love my horror films as well. Like,
what are you playing then at the moment, gaming wise? What's kind of tickling your fancy?
What have we been playing? We just got PS Now.
Okay.
PS4, so we've just been dicking around on that and seeing what's available. So at the moment, we've just been playing on Disney Discovery. Because it felt like we started it the other week when we had a pretty rotten hangover, and it was just a really easy feel-good game that you could just mess about on and just waste a couple of hours on it. So, it's nothing too strenuous. Those are the games I really prefer, is just stuff that you can just, like God of War, where you just run around just smashing the shit out of stuff. Like, those are my kind of games, really. Yeah. I have the new God of War as well, but I've not even started it yet. So I need to sit down and make a good effort with that at some point.
Yeah, put it to that. All right, then we've got horror. So I guess it's really easy. What are your favourite horror movies? What do you lean towards?
Favourites. I'd probably say zombie stuff.
Okay.
Because out of all my horror collection, I think a lot of it, if not for zombie, then definitely paranormal type stuff. But yeah, the zombie stuff I really love that. Like one of my go-to films for a while was 28 Days Later.
Oh yeah, brilliant.
Or Dead Set, the Charlie Brooker one
Big
with
Brother.
the Big Brother house. Yeah, it's just been added on as well. So I watched a couple of episodes of that the other night for like the 50th time. Evil Dead, probably one of my favourites as well. All the standards basically, but yeah, I'm big into the zombie genre.
Yeah, that's kind of what I grew up on, so it's why we use the term brains in the title of our site, because the movie The Return of the Living Dead is basically my favourite horror movie. Yeah, exactly. So, all right, well, we'll wrap it up then with one other thing. What, from the headbanging side of thing, what bands are you listening to now that you think, like, yeah, people should be going to check out these guys or so on, if there's anything like that?
I mean, as far as new bands go, I don't manage to get out as much as I wish I could. But the newest bands that I'm aware of at the moment, Tuskar, Tuskar, are a fantastic band who people should definitely give more attention to. Under, if you've heard of Under, doing great things at the moment. And a lot more of our other buddies as well, like Nomad, guys like that on the scene. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
You know, there's something to love wherever you look at the moment. So it's just a case of looking around and seeing what else you can see.
It's almost hard to keep up sometimes, you know.
It really is. That's why I'm struggling to name any other, like, name drop anybody else.
Yeah, well, you literally just mentioned Under, and I'm like, okay, I reviewed Under's album like 2 days ago, and I'm trying to remember what did I think of it. I'm pretty sure I loved it, but I need to go back and check it because something else straight after came along and took its place because I had to do that and so on. It's very hard to keep up.
Yeah, I used to do music reviews as well, so it was the same for me. Like, once you've listened to one thing, you're straight on to the next one, so it's ever changing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Battalions as well. Sorry, I forgot to mention them. Dead Retinas and 1968 for people who want some more recommendations. Some more good friends of ours, but very, very good musicians and lovely people.
Dead Retinas, they're supporting you at your launch show, right? Aren't they?
Yeah, Battalions, 1968, and Dead Retinas.
Oh, so wow, excellent. Yeah,
I know that to name drop them because they're our buddies. So yeah, Chubby Thunderers, Bad Cush Masters are excellent.
Excellent band, excellent.
Yeah, in fact, we've got new T-shirts out at the minute, and Will, the bass player, designed this one for us.
Well, that's quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the Tulsa one. We've just had 2 designs done. So I've got all my little trinkets down here, just for showing up on the camera.
Excellent. Right, we'll wrap this up with, I guess, just one last album plug. It's out on the 16th of November, a few days now.
Again, so people can see it. It's called Solitude and Savagery.
Yep. APF Records.
It comes out on the 16th on APF Records.
You literally have everything.
I feel like a prop comedian.
Yeah.
Hailing from Manchester in the UK, sludgy doom band Barbarian Hermit are scheduled to release their debut album Solitude and Savagery on November 16th, 2018 via APF Records. Solitude and Savagery is the follow-up to the band's 2016 self-titled EP. The latter part of the album name is apt, as this is a record filled with fuzzy down-tuned guitars, raging groove and a heavy-as-hell rhythm. Savage sludge for a savage band. Barbarian Hermit throw their everything into the Hermitage to ensure you're fully invested from the moment it starts. It's a ferocious beginning that slams groove down hard with every expectation that they've beaten you into submission already. It's interesting that Black Mass then heads in a different direction with somber melody and soft singing at first. It's a soulful sounding song, and just as you relax into it, the drums hit and the riffs go deep and dark. What follows is a classy yet devastating doom track that is covered in slimy dampness, shifting like a scaly beast. No Sleep then delivers a bouncy, dare it be said, catchy slab of groove metal with an impressively energetic tune. It's a short-lived break, as if one is actually needed, before the crushing balance of slow and sludge returns to haunt your waking nightmares on Beyond the Wall. A complex guitar solo freshens things up as the meandering rhythm eats away at your mind. With plenty of air in their lungs still, Barbarian Hermit smashed through the crusty surface with Life Breather and its morose melodies playing off dark heaviness. Before Reawaken keeps things as traditional as it's humanly possible with such a strong take on sludge. Traditional in the sense that it's got a recognisable formula of deep groove alongside exciting flashes of heaviness brought on by the riffs. Still, every bit as incredible as everything that has come before and what follows. Talking of which, Lienkia wraps a brilliant release up in style, 11 minutes of style, and a track that shows off a huge array of skills as it deals out a hard rock sound to mix things up, all while showcasing the sludgy doom talents that make Barbarian Hermit a force to be reckoned with. Solitude and Savagery is one of the best album releases of 2018. It's out on November 16th by APF Records.